Everyone is okay, everyone. My name is Lori. You can probably hear me. I am from Kid Made Modern, and we're so excited to be back with Michaels for another fun class with Tessa from Studio Jane. Tessa is one of our favorite crafters out there, and she always teaches us really, really fun things. So today we're going to do a fun back to school craft. So I'll be actually handling the Q&A. So we can't see you, but you can type any questions or anything you want to share in the Q&A, and I'll be the moderator and I can ask Tessa these questions or whatever you want to share while we're going through the class. So make sure to type that in or get a grown-up to help you type it in as well. All right, Tessa, we are ready to get started.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to be making these fun little pencil buddies. They can go on the top of your pencil. These are great to take back to school. Maybe you want to make some for your whole class, and they can be removable, which is great. So you can still use your eraser, and then they can just slide back on. And you can make them in a ton of different ways. So we have a few different little samples here. You can see all different style little friends we're going to make, and it's a really easy and quick craft. So we're going to make quite a few of them together. I'm going to go through all the different little materials that you're going to be using today. So to start, we are using our Kid Made Modern Arts and Crafts library, and this is a library that has everything that you need to craft. Most everything we're using is from this kit today, and you can definitely get it at Michael's. It's my favorite. It's got everything that you could ask for. And the main thing we're using are fuzzy sticks. So you also might know them as a pipe cleaner. They come in a ton of different colors. These are all out of that big craft library. And you can use any colors that you want. So you can see some of these ones I did here. There's like a white one. We have a pink one. So this base, the little body of our little pencil buddy, those are like one whole little fuzzy stick. So we're using the larger ones that are like 12 inches long. You can use a small one. Sometimes they come in shorter sizes. You can also use scraps for crafting today. Yours just might be a little bit smaller or shorter than these. But again, you can use any color that you want. So you can get as wild as you want to. Then we are going to be decorating them with all sorts of different fun little accessories. So I've got different little bowls here. You can see I've got like a whole little bowl of Pom Poms. These are fun to stick on top, or you can use a little mini one as a nose. We can use sequins. So I pulled out some sequins to do like a little sequin flower hat on this one. You can then use googly eyes. So I got all sorts of googly eyes. You can do, whether you want to do one big googly eye, like a little monster friend, or you can do little ones. You can cover the whole thing in googly eyes if you want to make a whole little monster grouping. So again, all those little materials, those are some of the things you can use. You can also use wooden beads. You can use paper, scraps. We also have some little felt strips that are also included in the arts and crafts library. And these you can cut little pieces out. So like this little guy here has a little felt nose. So you can easily cut shapes out. You can cut eyes out, or if you want to make different felt clothes for them, you can do whatever you want with that. And then
yeah, Claire was asking, which is just, I think what you were just mentioning, she's like, does she have to use the kit or home supplies fine? And home supplies are totally fine, whatever you might have around the house.
Absolutely. Yeah. All of these things come in the kit, which makes it easy, but you do not need the kit. There's nothing in there that you probably don't already have in some of your supplies, or maybe from the last Kid Made Modern kit that you've had. So yeah, anything is totally fine. And again, you can use any color combinations, anything that you want. And then for tools, we're going to be using a pair of scissors. We're using glue dots. And we've got the Zots from Michael's, which if you're not familiar, glue dots are basically come in a big roll like this. And they have little sticky dots. You can kind of just barely see little shiny circles on there. And it's kind of just a mess-free, no dry time little dot of glue. So we're going to be using these because they work wonders with things that are more fabric based, like little pom poms. But if you don't have glue dots, you can definitely use a liquid glue. It's just going to take a lot longer for yours to dry. So once you glue anything to it, I would definitely set your little friends aside for quite a while. Or if you're crafting with an adult, you could also use a hot glue gun. So that would work as well. And the only thing I say probably wouldn't work is a glue stick. So a glue stick just isn't quite strong enough to stick to the fuzzy sticks. But you can always watch and follow along as well. So if you don't have all the materials today, this is sometimes just a great way to get ideas, and then you can make them later. And then lastly, you do need a pencil of some kind. So I even have like some little markers here, anything like that will work. But we are going to use the pencil itself in order to coil our little fuzzy stick around it. And then again, you can take them on and off if you want to. Okay, so that is our rundown of all of our fun things that we're going to be using today. So I'm going to flip my camera around so you guys can see my hands, and we're going to dive in. Okay, so got all of our materials here. And again, this is a pretty simple craft because the main thing you need are just the fuzzy sticks and a pencil. All of these other fun little details, whether you're using pom poms or sequins, are just to decorate your little buddy. So it's totally up to you what you want to use. So to start, I'm going to pull this off. We're going to use our pencil. Again, you can use a pin, anything like that will work. All right. So again, these we're calling our back to school buddies, since you can take them to school with you. I think they're fun to make for friends. So if you guys went back to school this week, put it in the Q&A. We want to hear all about it. I know some of you might be even started last week, but we'd love to hear all about what you're doing in school and going back to school is like. All right. So our first step here, we're going to take our little fuzzy stick and we're going to place it on top of our pencil. And I'm going to hold it in place. So you can see I'm holding that with my thumb against my pencil. And then with my other hand, I'm going to wrap the fuzzy stick around the pencil. So see, I'm still holding on with my other thumb, and then just wrap this around and around to coil it all the way around your pencil.
Hey, Tessa, real quick, can Elmer's glue, can that be used?
Yeah, you can use Elmer's glue. That's just going to be the glue that takes a little longer to dry. So sometimes you need a little extra glue and it takes longer to dry on a fuzzy stick. So you can use it. I would just definitely, once you put the glue on, I would set your little pencil buddy aside and let it fully dry before you start using it. All right, so there we go. You can see we've got our whole little coil here. And right now you can start on either side of the pencil, but I'm going to push it all the way up to the top then. And I'm going to take this little end and tighten it just to kind of make that a solid top. So you can see now I've kind of covered that hole by bending that fuzzy stick. And the reason I want to do that is so that when I put a glue dot on top to decorate it, that it's sticking to the fuzzy stick and not to the pencil eraser. That way it's removable, because you want to be able to still use your pencil, especially if you are actually using this at school. You don't want your decoration to get in the way of actually completing your work. So we're just going to coil that a little bit more to cover up the top. So you can see right now you can take it off. They are still going to be totally pliable, so you could easily unravel this again, or you could smash it. So just be careful when you pull them off, but then they'll be able to just slide right back on. And we're going to make a few of these. So if you feel like you've skipped a step, if you have questions, definitely put those in the Q&A. But don't worry, we're going to make a few of these little buddies together.
Our friends from Minnesota say that they start September 6th at school.
Oh, well, good. You guys still have some more summer break. That's nice. Well, then you will have time to make a billion little pencil buddies before you go back to school. All right. So once you've coiled your fuzzy stick here, I'm going to take a glue dot. And I think we're going to start with doing a little pom pom on top. I think it's kind of like looks like hair, or maybe it's a hat, it can be whatever you want. So I'm going to take a little pom pom here, and I'm going to stick a glue dot onto it. So now you can kind of see that little shiny dot is the little glue dot. And then I'm going to stick it right on top of the coiled fuzzy stick. So you can see that's what makes it so great, is it's already dry, which is so easy to use the glue dots. But again, if you are using liquid glue, do a dot of glue and then place your pom pom on top. And then I would maybe take this off of your pencil if you're using liquid glue or Elmer's glue, so that the glue doesn't seep down and stick to the pencil if you want it to be removable. And you can just kind of let it dry like this instead. All right, so now we've got our little pom pom on top. And from here, we are going to add some fun little faces. So I'm going to take some little glue dots and some little googly eyes. See little tiny ones here. But you can use any color if you want to use colorful ones. These ones are fun to have little pink pupils in them. So there's no right or wrong way to make your little friend here. So I'm going to take a little googly eye, and I'm just going to stick a glue dot on the back of it. And I'm using like the medium-sized glue dots, so they might be a little bit big depending on what materials you're using. So I like to just kind of fold that glue dot back onto itself if it's sticking out. That way it doesn't show when your artwork is all done. I'm going to take that little googly eye, and I'm just going to stick it straight onto the fuzzy stick. And then we're going to do the same thing with a second eye. And again, we're going to make a couple different styles today, different types of little friends, but you can make them however you want. So don't feel like you have to make it look exactly like this. If you have different googly eyes, or if you don't have googly eyes at all, you can cut them out of paper or felt. You could draw eyes on paper and then cut those out and glue them on too. So there's, again, a billion ways to make them customized just for you. All right, so there we go.
It seems like a few of our friends are, sorry, I'm looking at all these answers on when they're going back to school. So a few of them are going back in just 2 weeks. So they have just a few more days of summer left for them.
Oh, good. Well, that is nice. I am glad it's still summer break for you guys. I don't know if I'm quite ready for it to be officially back to school and fall season. All right, so now I'm going to add a little smile, and I'm going to do that with another little fuzzy stick. So I'm going to cut a little piece off, just about like 1 inch. I'm just using my scissors, and I am using the little scissors that come in the Kid Made Modern Arts and Crafts library. So these are like a youth scissor, so those should work fine to cut through the fuzzy stick, but they do have the little wire bit in there, so sometimes that can be a little challenging. So when you cut through, I always like to put your fuzzy stick further into your blade. Sometimes if you do it too close to the tip of your scissors, it will just bend rather than cut through. So put your fuzzy stick back toward your handle all the way in your blade, and then cut through. And it should cut right, it should just snap right off. But sometimes that can be a little hard, so that might be a step you want to ask an adult to help with if you're struggling. Okay, so now I've got this little inch of fuzzy stick, and I'm just going to bend it into a little U shape or a little smile. And again, that's what's fun about these with the wire. You can bend them into any shape you want. So there I have just like a little U, and we're just going to attach that on with another glue dot. And then I'm just going to place this just below my little eyes. And there you have a little funny face. And you have your first little pencil friend all done. So you can add more on the other side if you want to. You can add more decorations. So we're going to make, again, a couple more different styles together. But that way your little friend is still removable. So it can use your eraser, or you can take this and put it on as many different pins or pencils you want. So like here, I can still slide it onto a pin instead. So it's kind of fun that you can take them with you no matter what. So there we have our first little friend. We're going to set that aside. We're going to make another one. If anyone has an idea they want to see, or if you want me to use a certain color, let me know. I'm happy to show you guys something. Or if you have an idea that you're making yours with at home, tell us about it so that we can show everyone maybe. All right. So next I'm going to do this fluorescent orange color, nice and bright. All right. So if you miss the first step and you're catching up, or you are on to making a second one with me, we're going to start the same exact way. I'm going to take my fuzzy stick. I'm going to put it against my pencil and then hold it in place with my thumb. So I'm kind of holding the pencil and the fuzzy stick between my thumb and forefinger here. And then using your other hand, I'm going to wrap it around and around. If you've crafted with us before, you've probably done something similar like this, because we love to do a fuzzy stick and turn it into all sorts of shapes. I always love a little spiral. So it's going to be the same way. And then you can see I kind of have this little top end here. And I'm just going to, using my fingers, kind of tighten that coil at the top just to fill in the little gap.
So I have a few questions and comments in the chat that I wanted to chat with. So Wendy is asking, do we have 2 coordinating styles colors that twin girls can use?
Oh, I mean, I think you can use any color combinations, but if you want them to coordinate, I always think it's kind of fun to have one color exist in both options. So maybe you do like a pink and a yellow for one, and then you can do like a blue and a yellow for the other one. So that way you have the same color in both options. Or if you're using any of our fun stripey ones, you could then use a combination of like the blue and green stripe, but then maybe the other one, you can do like a green and like a neon green color instead.
Perfect.
But you can do any color combination.
And then someone said they're using a glue stick and it works great. So that's good to know.
Well, I'm so glad that you proved me wrong. That's good news. I haven't tried a glue stick and always felt like the fuzzy sticks were challenging. So I'm so glad to hear that. That's good news.
Yeah. And then they're asking if they can use glitter.
Well, I always vote yes for glitter. And
I don't usually vote for glitter, but Tessa does.
I love a glitter. It is messy, so definitely make sure you're doing it on a surface. And I always like to put a piece of paper down first. And when you're pouring glitter, pour it close to your surface. So don't start pouring from way up here, start pouring really close to your surface so that it doesn't really flutter everywhere. It is contained onto your scrap piece of paper. That way you can either throw that paper away if there's not a lot of extra, or you can easily fold that piece of paper and pour the glitter back into its little container. But yeah, you can totally use a glue stick now, I know, or you can use Elmer's glue and add glitter to any of your little friends. Would be so cute.
Awesome. And then just real quick, Zoe said they should use strips. So I think any type of strips that you might have for materials that would work great. Good to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I love hearing all of your guys' different materials and ideas.
Yeah. And then Gina, you said 2 or 1. I'm not sure if we answered your question. Let us know in the chat if you need that clarified for yourself.
Okay.
All right. We're ready for the next step, Tessa.
Amazing. Thanks, Lori. Okay, so for this little guy, now that we've coiled our little fuzzy stick around our pencil, and we've covered up the top, just turning that little end in, We're going to do a little sequin hat on top of this one. So I'm going to take a little flower sequin and I put a glue dot on the back and then I'm just going to press it right on top. There we go. I'm going to do a second little flower, but a smaller one. And again, you can use different style sequins. Maybe you don't have flowers in yours, but you could just use like round sequins. There's little leaves in here that are cute, or seashells. For those of you that are still on summer break, maybe you want a little seashell vibe going on. Okay, so I'm going to take my second little flower and I'm just layering these together just to add a little extra color. I'm going to take this smaller sequin and put it in the middle of the first one. There we have, you can see kind of the two different layers, and there are two different colors of green there. So now we've got a little cap on our little friend here, and then we can add some little eyes next. I'm going to do a couple little tiny googly eyes. And these are so small, I can actually put them both on one glue dot. If you want them further apart, you might not be able to, but I'm going to put them close together and then just glue that straight on. There we've got our little eyes going on there. All right. So next we're going to add a little nose or a mouth, whatever you want to do. I'm going to take a little piece of felt and let's cut out like a little triangle for its nose. So you can definitely take a marker if you want to, but I'm just going to freehand cut a little triangle out. And again, you can use a different shape if you want to. I think a little triangle is kind of cute. Camera got a little blurry there, guys. Sorry. There we go. Okay, so I've got my little triangle here, and we're going to do the same thing. So you can see it's all very much the same technique. Once you coil your little fuzzy stick, then you can just decorate them with all different materials. And it's basically the same thing over and over again. But I always like a craft like that because I feel like the more of them you make, the more creative you get. At first, it's only, oh, I'm going to do a little hat here, or I'm going to do some little eyes. And then after your third or fourth or 10th little fuzzy stick friend, then all of a sudden you've created entire outfits for them and you can get as wild as you want to. All right. So lastly, we've got a little triangle nose. I'm going to do another little fuzzy stick mouth. So just cut another little inch off, and then I'm just going to bend it into a little U shape. And then glue that on as well. And there you have another cute little friend with a little hat on top. You can slide that right off. This one, even the little green on top is almost giving me, reminding me of a little pumpkin with that orange on there. Okay, so for our next little friend, let's see here, let's do a blue one. And we're going to do the exact same steps. So I'm going to hold my fuzzy stick against my pencil with one hand and then coil it or wrap it around.
As you're coiling, again, Tessa, I'm going to go through a few of our questions.
Great.
Leslie and Violet asked, can they make a unicorn horn on one?
Ooh, that's a fun idea. Yes,
it.
we can try to do that. I like that.
And then Claire asked, can she use felt for a hat?
Oh, for sure.
That's a great idea. Yeah. And then, oh, somebody has jingle bells. Can they use those? Of course. That might cause some noise in your class, but it would be a fun little extra.
Yes, that might be a little noisy, but I like it. I think that sounds very cute. And yeah, you can definitely glue on jingle bells. You might even be able to if they are the little jingle bells that they have like a little like hole in the top, you might even to like string them, you can probably string them onto your fuzzy stick itself and then coil it. So you'll kind of have the jingle bells sticking out.
And then Gina says she doesn't have eyes, but I think that's fine. You can use a different material if you want to still put eyes, but you necessarily don't have to put eyes on your fuzzy stick as well.
No, you don't have to make them into, we're making them into little people or little creatures, but even like this one I just turned around, it still is just a fun little adornment for your pencil. So you could put different little polka dots or sequins all over it. It doesn't have to be a little person, or you can draw eyes or cut eyes out of felt. If you just cut out 2 little circles out of felt or paper, and put a mouth underneath it, it still is going to look like a little face. We can even do one like that.
Yeah, and you know what, Tessa? I actually thought the one that you just showed with just the pom pom on top looks like a little cold weather hat to me. It's
oh, it does.
Really fun, cute winter.
Yes, it does look like a little beanie.
Awesome. And then real quick here, Cynthia, Emma is using feathers with hers. That is so fun. I love that.
Ooh. That sounds very cute. I love it.
Also, another question, can they use beads or crystals?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you could totally do little beads. Beads or crystals would be cute to do, like a little beaded nose, or you could put them on top as a little topper, a hat. Yeah, you could definitely use beads. Okay, so then we've got our little quill here. I know that we had a request for a unicorn, so we're going to attempt to make a unicorn. So I'm going to take a metallic fuzzy stick. You can definitely use a different color, but unicorns always seem like they need a little sparkle. And so I'm going to cut about a couple inches off of my fuzzy stick. I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to twist this together. This is just making it a little bit thicker. So now I have a slightly thicker, it's even seemed a little bit big, so I'm going to fold it in half again. So now I have just this little metallic bent up piece of fuzzy stick. I'm going to take a glue dot and stick it just on one end. Get it off here. So I want this to stick out rather than lay flat. So I'm just putting the glue dot right on the end here. And then I'm going to stick it going out the front. So we're making a little unicorn horn. Then I think if we do some little fuzzy stick ears, I'm going to take this and I'm going to just kind of bend it into little triangle shapes. You can kind of see it looks like a little, it just kind of rounded, but I'm pushing it together closer than we did for our mouth to almost look like a little pointed ear, if you will. Do the same thing with another one. We've got 2 of these little rounded points, but I think that if we're gonna get it on there, it might start to look like a little horse ears, little unicorn ears. So again, I'm gonna put the glue dot on the ends and I'm gonna put it on the top. We've got one there, and then do the second one. And I'm going to put it on the other side. So now you can see on the top here, we've got a little horse ears and our little unicorn horn. And then we can add some little eyes. And I think how we can make a little horse nose is a little more challenging. that maybe we just do little eyes instead, and it will look, we'll be inspired by a unicorn at least. So we've got those on there. So you can kind of see we've got our little ears and our little horn. Hard with these that don't have an angular face that comes out like a horse. But I think that we've got it's giving me a unicorn feel, maybe. What are we thinking?
I think it looks like a unicorn. Claire's asking, can you twist two fuzzy sticks together and then twist them on?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so there you go. We've got our little unicorn here. That is for a freestyle. This is, I think, as close as we're going to get. But I think you could definitely play with that whole idea and turn it into all sorts of things. But we've got unicorn vibes going on. Okay, to do a little double twist one, we could definitely do that. What I would do is take two different colors. And then, yeah, you can twist them together. So kind of twist one in together. And then you can just kind of braid them, overlap them as you go down. Kind of creates that like candy peppermint look. And just keep twisting all the way down. Okay, so now we've got two twisted together. And then you're gonna do the same thing. So I'm just gonna hold it on my pencil and then twist that around. I'm gonna take this little extra bit here, kind of wrap it all together. So yours, they might look a little bit thicker. So not by much, but it will be a little bit thicker of a little coil, but that's great. So you definitely do that. And I know we had some concern about if we had eyes or not. But again, yeah, you don't necessarily have to use just googly eyes. So maybe if you have felt or paper, you can cut little eyes. So I'm going to cut little like rounded shapes out. Almost like just a little circle. Sometimes when I'm making little tiny things, I like to cut off a little piece first. And then it's easier to make it round or to cut it into the shape you want. You don't have all that extra felt in the way of your scissors. So there I've got like a little blue dot. And we'll just do the same thing. So again, I'll cut a little piece off. Got two little dots there now. And then we're going to glue those on instead of googly eyes. So I'm going to take glue dot. Again, these are little, so I'm going to put both of them on one glue dot. And then we can put those on. So see there, you could easily do lots of little shapes out of felt or paper and glue them on if you didn't want to make a face at all. Or right now it just looks like two little dots, but then if we add a little mouth on there too, and we'll do a little bright blue one. And I'm just going to cut a little piece off and then bend that into a little mouth. Add that little glue dot and then you can put it on there. And then you have another little face. You can add a coordinating blue little pom pom on the top. And so there you have, you can do googly eyes or not. It still has the same general look and feel as being a little friend. And then you can add, again, tons of different little things. So maybe if you want to add a little scarf on one, you can take an extra little piece of fuzzy stick, cut off like a couple inches of one. And then I'm going to wrap it around the base here. And then just twist it. And then just kind of like bend it down. It has like a little little scarf or a little necktie. You can do cute little extra details. You could definitely bend one of these into a little bow. So to do that, I'm going to bend one side into a little round shape. And then about the same amount here. It's almost like a little pretzel. So you can see I have my first side here that I bent into a little rounded shape, and then do the exact same on this side. And then it's going to take the rest of it and I'm going to wrap it around the middle and then cut off the extra. Have like a little bow shape. So you could definitely stick that on. I'm going to remove our funny little unicorn here and make one more here with you guys. We're going to coil this around. And then you can either add a bow on top, or you can add a little bow tie. Either one is cute. We'll add a little bow tie on this, and I'm sticking it onto the fuzzy stick rather than the pencil still. And then this one is going to be a very stylish little monster. We're going to do one big cyclops eye on there. And then maybe we'll add another little pom pom on top. And there you have another cute little friend. So there you can see all of these fun little creatures that we've made today, as well as some of our other little samples. You can really get as creative as you want. There's no right or wrong way to make these little back to school buddies. So definitely feel free to get creative and use all those different supplies that you have, and definitely feel free to share them or have your parents share them with Kid Made Modern. We love seeing all the fun things you guys make, and I hope you have a great rest of the summer for those of you that haven't gone back to school yet, and good luck going back to school. Thanks so much for crafting with us, you guys. Have a good day.